Hello everyone, my name is Joe, welcome to Genius of Joe. Today guys, we'll be discussing a recent spec ad that I just shot for Gymshark. I've been dabbling in the world of spec ads recently because I think it's extremely important to know what it is like to shoot for clothing brands or just any brand like that in the future, because you want to know when you're shooting how to keep the brand in mind through compositions, lighting, how you pose the model, all that type of stuff. I actually also did a spec ad for Adidas recently, which I'll put the video up here for the full breakdown. It actually got into Vogue too, so that's pretty cool if you ask me, so I'll put that up there. But in this video, I'm just going to break down everything that was to do with the Gymshark shoot. So my lighting, the pre-production phase, my intentions, the equipment that I used, all that type of stuff. I talked about this a lot in my last shoot video, but if you want to land your dream client someday, you need to keep them in mind on every single photo shoot that you do. That even may be doing a spec ad for that specific brand. And if you don't know what a spec ad is, it's essentially just a fake advert. So I wasn't obviously actually hired by Gymshark to do this shoot, but I'm essentially doing it as a concept and basically just like telling them that like, okay, if you were to hire me, this is the type of work that I could create for you. And the way I begin the process of creating all of my shoots is by having a plan in place. So I would suggest creating a PDF of a presentation or proposal for your shoots. So for this shoot, I made about a 15-page PDF going over all of my intentions and the vision for the photo shoot as a whole. So I had stuff covering the set design, the styling, the makeup, the shot list, the lighting that I want to do, etc. You want this PDF to essentially be a general overview of the photo shoot, letting people know exactly what you're going for. You're sending it to the model, you're sending it to the team that you're going to work for. So everyone's on the same page and everyone knows what type of photos they're going to get out of it. It also just puts the people that you're working with in a position where they can give clear feedback if needed, right? So if you have a stylist on the day, they can give a good suggestion for the styling. So if they think the styling isn't really, that you gave isn't really good and they have their own professional opinion, they may think this outfit works better. Or maybe if it's a makeup artist and going, okay, that makeup doesn't really work, we should do this makeup if necessary. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it puts them in a better position because now they understand the concept at hand, because you explain to them the concept in the PDF, so they know exactly what would fit the vibe of the photo shoot. So for this shoot, I had my model Lois and the makeup artist, her name was CN, and I sent them this PDF. So guys, I'm actually going to look over the PDF that I created for the photo shoot so you know what I'm talking about, right? So I made this in Canva. You can obviously make this in PowerPoint, you can make this in Keynote, it doesn't really matter, but I make it in Canva, personal choice. So I like to have a little nice title here, and I have like a little description of the photo shoot. You don't really need that, but I like to put that in there as like a, just like a nice little, it's like adds more context to the photo shoot, adds a story to it, and it just, you know what I mean, just makes it look cooler, you know what I mean? So first thing, I've got like a general mood board of the vibe of the photo shoot. So in here, you want to include stuff like the lighting references, maybe there's like a set design that you want to go for, there's certain types of shots that you want to go have. This is the general vibe of the photo shoot. You've probably created these before. So yeah, that's that. And then we're going to be really specific here. So now we've got styling. So here I've got styling. I initially did want her to have like a sports bra on, like a white one, tank top, some like baggy joggers or something like that, right? But that didn't obviously come through. I think she wore something different, but it's not really a big deal. That's just like what I had in mind, you know what I mean? Like something like this maybe, but whatever. Next one, I did lighting. So here I use this app called Satellite, which I'll go over later, and just to create these like lighting references, and obviously I can mock up my own lighting setup, and this is exactly what type of lighting I'm going for, to put some stuff there. If you don't have Satellite, that's okay. Just go on Pinterest or something like that to see any references of lighting that you want to go for here. And next thing, I just have the shot list. So here, the shot list is like the main part of the shoot. Like every shoot, if you're not going to do any of this stuff, right, which I think you should, but if you're not going to do any of this stuff, the shot list is the thing that you want to do. It's the main thing that you should do on every single photo shoot. So here, this is basically a list of poses and like compositions and shot sizes. So here are some examples here. So I've got various mid to long shots, so like full shots and mid shots. And here's some like various poses that I could go for here. Next one, close up of the body, showing off the branding, athleticism while model is sweating. That's something like this, right? And behind the back shots, low angle shots. We've got some motion blur shots, which I mainly did throughout the photo shoot. You've got like close up stuff. This is it, right? So you basically want to use the shot list as like literally a checklist of what types of shots you want to do first. So you can imagine when I was on the shoot, I was going, okay, let's start with the mid long shots and we go through some poses here. I could have had more reference photos. That's the issue with me. I think on that day I was struggling for a lot of poses because I only really put 3 reference photos here, and I don't think that was enough. So I wish I put more in there, but You can put more in there. I would suggest probably putting 4, 5, 6 poses in there, unless you already have poses in mind in your head. But for the most part, if you struggle with like figuring out poses on the day, this is a great thing to have, because I had this my laptop here, this exact laptop, I had it on the desk, and I just literally had it behind me, looking over it every time I was taking a photo, going, okay, should we do this pose next, this pose next? And it's just a great it's a great place to go back to refer to while on the photo shoot, right? And you want to have like a few reference photos here, just so you have like some options. So don't just put, oh, I want to do close-up shots and have no reference, have like one photo. If you have like multiple photos like this, you've got like different types of ideas that you can do, so you're never really stuck on the day. But you can imagine on the day I was going, okay, let's do this shots first, then these shots, then these shots, then these shots, and then these shots, and then these shots. So you can kind of go in order there. And I actually made a full video on how you can make the perfect shot list for your next photo shoot, which I'll put up here. Great video, you should watch it. It's like 20 minutes long or something like that. That'll tell you exactly how to make the perfect shot list. And yeah, so yeah, this PDF is definitely more of a briefer one. It's only like 13 pages if you count this one too, but it's not really pages, so it's about 12. Some of my photo shoots I've done about like 20, 15, like there's ones, it really just depends it depends on the concept you're going for. How complex is the concept? What type of stuff is going to have to be involved? That sort of stuff. So if there's like a lot of props involved, set design, different locations, all this different type of styling or anything like that, you may have like a much bigger PDF. You may have like a 20-page PDF, 25 maybe. You know what I mean? It really depends. But this concept was quite a simple concept, so it wasn't like anything complicated. I assume you have to look at, okay, what styling they should have, what she should wear, what lighting could it be, and then obviously poses and stuff like that, right? I didn't have to put anything to do with like props or whatever it is. I could just put that in there, and yeah. Because I think it's extremely important as professionals to actually extensively plan for our photo shoots. Like, just going out there, just rocking up to the day, having no plan, just freestyling on the shoot is stupid. It's literally dumb, and I think as a professional you should not be doing that, right? That's more of an amateur thing to do. Those days are over, guys. You need to start actually thoroughly planning out the photo shoot. Yeah, it's more work, obviously. This took me like probably like an hour to do maximum, right? But it's like that helped me out so much more on the day, and it's also just fun to do. Like, imagine like trying to think of a concept, you think of the lighting you want to do, the shots you want to do. It's definitely more of a fun process, right? So why not do it? And I think it's extremely important for you as a professional to do this, because this is not only good for your collaborative shoots, but also good for your paid shoots. Like, imagine you're going into a collaborative shoot and you're sending your model like a 15-20 page PDF of like the concept of the photo shoot, like that, because that's going to make you look so much more professional compared to photographers who are just like, oh, do you want to do a collaborative shoot someday and we just take some photos? It's like, that's bullshit. Like, I'm sorry to be rude, but like people who do that, they're not real professionals in my opinion, right? If you want to be professional, this is what you want to do. And you essentially want to do this for paid shoots. For paid shoots, you need to do this type of stuff, because yeah, you could probably get away with not doing it, but by doing it, you're creating that reputation that you're like a well-prepared photographer, and you're highly reputable, which I also made a video about, which I'll put up here. I talk about reputation, how to have like a high reputation as a photographer, which will land you more clients in the future. So guys, yeah, obviously like reputation matters, because it will land you paid work. And guys, if you want to learn more about the process of making the perfect PDF or presentation for your next photo shoot, just like what I showed you, guys, click the top link below, which is my free online community, Photo Genius Academy. That will give you access to a course which will tell you exactly what you need to do to create the perfect presentation for your next photo shoot. And it also just teaches you how to build your portfolio from the ground up for completely free, and just turn your passion into a career. So guys, click the top link below if you want to join today. It's completely free, so there's no excuses. Join today, and I'll see you inside. And obviously guys, as you can tell by the photos, I tried something new, something that I basically haven't done before. Actually, I did it by accident one time in like January time. I did a photo shoot in January, I did it by accident. So obviously I wanted to do it on purpose this time, right? And that was mixing strobes and continuous lighting while shooting at slower shutter speeds. And if you didn't know, strobes essentially freezes motion, because it's a flash. It essentially like, don't know how that works, but it like freezes motion. So you can get away with shooting at much slower shutter speeds while getting no motion blur at all. But with continuous lighting, it doesn't really freeze time, or freeze motion, not time. So this really unique and special effect that you can get by mixing them both together, the strobes and continuous, is that like you shoot at a slower shutter speed, right? And one part of the model which is lit by the strobes is nice and sharp and like clean looking, right? But then the other part of the model which is lit by the continuous light is actually has a lot of motion blur and there's a lot of movement to it, and it's quite blurry. So what I did was shoot at a shutter speed of a 15th of a second, so quite slow, right? And every time I'm taking a photo, I'm slightly moving my camera. So I'm here, I'm kind of like going like that, I'm taking the photo, like dragging it like that to introduce the motion blur in the photo. I feel like you have to be quite careful though, because if you do it too much, then the whole photo will just be motion blur. Like obviously strobes are good at freezing motion, but it isn't that good if you like go like that, obviously. So you have to find like the perfect amount of sway, that perfect amount of drag that you need to do, so the strobe part of the model is like sharp, and then obviously the continuous part is like blurry or have like a lot of motion blur, has some movement to it. So I'm in Satellite right now, which I talked about earlier. Satellite is basically like a 3D simulation of like a studio setting of lighting, so you can really like play around the lighting and like plan the lighting beforehand and see what it looks like exactly in this app, which is really cool. As you can see, I've done like different types of shots here. These are the photos that I put into the presentation. Yeah, so let's get into the lighting real quick, because I think it's easier to explain it and here than like just saying it. So yeah, this was a 5 light setup here. So I had my main, like my key light was a beauty dish with a grid on it. I had that as a main key light. I had that more of like a Rembrandt kind of lighting, or more loop lighting. On the day it was more like Rembrandt, I think. So, but here it's more like loop lighting here. So just like I had some little contrast there, because I think if I had a softbox, I was going for this more like contrasty look, right? So more like cinematic, quote unquote, or moody looking, right? So I feel like a beauty dish with a harsher light source would look like better with the shadows and stuff like that, right? I thought it'd be more like contrasty, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I went for the beauty dish. For the blue background, because it was like an LED kind of background where it was like lit, right? It wasn't like an actual blue backdrop. I had these two, it wasn't actually apertures. I had my small rig 220 watt cob lights, which I'm actually using right now to light me. I had 2 of these with reflected dishes on them, basically where the apertures are. So imagine the apertures were the small rigs. I had them with a little, like, I had a reflected dish, I had a little blue gel over it, lighting both sides, so so the background is evenly lit with the blue. And then that was continuous light, and then I had 2 other continuous lights. I think they were Godox ones. They weren't mine, they were from the studios. They were like 150 watt lights, 100 watt lights. I had those with reflected dishes on them. I had them with honeycomb grids on them. So right now it's a 30-degree honeycomb. So if you don't know what honeycomb grids do, it is for reflected dishes, it essentially just like narrows down the lighting more. So you can imagine like 30 degrees, it makes the light 30 degrees. So obviously if I have it off, it kind of just spills everywhere. As you can kind of see, it kind of spills everywhere. It isn't that good if I spills onto the background a little bit, but having that 30-degree honeycomb on it, kind of like, it controls the light much more and like stops it from spilling in places that you don't want it to spill in. So those were continuous here, and this was basically the only strobe. Obviously right now it's like, I've obviously marked it as a flash in the app, but obviously on the day it wasn't. So this was the only strobe that I had. Everything else was continuous. So you can imagine when I'm doing the shutter drag thing like that, right? Her face is sharp, right? Her face is sharp, like the part that is lit by the strobe. The beauty dish is sharp, but then everything else, like the back of her body, like the rim light, because this is like rim light, right? All this here, that's blurry. That's going to be a bit blurry, right? As you can imagine. So this is what I was going to go for here: 2 rim lights and 2 lights lighting the background, and obviously 1 strobe here. And I had these also had these poly boards here to kind of like prevent the light from spilling everywhere, just in case of the light bounced off here onto her face, it's not on the wrong side of her face or something like that. So had that to kind of control the light a little bit more. I don't think I needed it to have it there, but I just put it there just to make sure, you know what I mean? If you have access to poly boards or like flags, I would definitely suggest you use those just to like control the light a bit better, you know what I mean? So it's not like you're not just getting random like spills of light on like the wrong side of the face. That you want to have quite a shadowy, especially if you're going for quite high contrast lighting with a lot of shadow on one side. If you don't have one of these, like imagine like if I took this out here, it doesn't really fit it that much, but it's like a subtle effect where it kind of just like bounces some of the light from these walls onto her face here, but if I have it here, it kind of like controls it a little bit more, you know what I mean? Like even if it doesn't really do anything, it's always just nice to put that there. And yeah, the reason why I went for this blue, because I don't know why, it just like screamed to me. I was like, oh yeah, blue works for this. And I'm thinking, yeah, I think blue definitely did work, especially for the outfit that she wore. She didn't obviously wear this outfit here. She wore like, obviously you can see by the photo, she wore like this darker blue, like lighter, no, it was like a baby blue, right? I completely forgot. Right, it was like a blue, like sports bra and like whole outfit. And I think it was really good. And also you can see the settings that I used up here. I think I used f11 instead on the day, but because I did use film too. I used Portrait 160, which I'll talk about in the next section. I had that, so I had that 160, I had that 15th of a second, and then f11, and yeah, that's what I had. This was the settings on the day. Okay, so now onto the equipment. The equipment that I basically used the same thing on every single photo shoot. So I actually used this exact camera and this exact lens. So I had the Canon R6 with a 24-70. If it's gonna, I don't think it's gonna focus. Whatever. 24-70 on it. EF, great lens, amazing stuff. I also had I don't have it with me, but I also had my Mamiya RB67 with a 127mm lens. That's a medium format film camera. I don't know if the film really works for this photo shoot. I think the digital definitely works better for it, like the vibe in general, like the motion and stuff like that. I feel like a digital definitely is probably the more preferred look, but I still like some of the film shots, that came out, because I've been shooting a lot of film recently, because I was like, okay, I might as well shoot film too. I feel like this is definitely more of a digital photo shoot, especially with like the complexity and the difficulty of the photos. Like, again, you have to get the perfect amount of drag, the perfect amount of stuff. I'm trying to do that on film, which is quite hard to do. I shot 2 rolls of Portrait 160. They're actually like expired film too. I think it was expired by like a few months, but I don't think that really affected the images or anything like that. But yeah, like probably 95% of the photos were just like shit. It was terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I tried to do the shutter drag on the Mamiya, and it's just like, yeah, they turned out terrible, right? So I think the digital ones were probably better, because that's like the first time I would ever say that the digital photos are actually better than the film photos. The film photos are always better, but for the most part, I guess for this shoot, digital ones were better. So again, I guess figure out if you have access to both film and digital, think about like, okay, does this shoot really suit film, or does this shoot really suit the digital look, whatever it is? And I think this shoot was definitely more digital. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Do you prefer the film ones? Do you prefer the digital ones? Let me know. And yeah, anyway guys, that is it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys found this useful. Guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of the photos. Let me know what you think of the breakdown. Do you have any questions? Yeah, let me know. Again guys, create a PDF. That's like the main takeaway of the whole thing. Just create a PDF for your next photo shoot. And again guys, top link in the description below if you want to learn how to create the perfect presentation and the PDF for your next photo shoot. Again, it's completely free. The course is completely free, so join today. I want to see you in there. I want to see you talking to the community or whatever. And yeah, join today. It's completely free. And also guys, if you want more personal feedback about your portrait photography, maybe you want me to personally review your PDF and tell you how to improve and how you can prepare for your next photo shoot, guys, click the second link below, which is my paid program, Photo Genius University. When you become a student there, you will get personal advice from me every single week, so you can accelerate your photography progress even more than if you join the free program, and also just get access to even better courses. So yeah guys, click the second link below if you want to join, learn all about it, and yeah, I want to see you in there. Anyway guys, that is it. Like, subscribe, comment, click on any of these videos here to learn more about portrait photography, and I'll see you next time guys. Goodbye.